Hello guys, it is me again, it's HorrorFan34, and welcome back to another video. This is going to be another top 10 video to be exact, and I figured I'd do this top 10 for a little while now. I've been thinking about this list for a while, and I finally narrowed it down to 10 movies on this list, and it's going to be the top 10 movies that personally, to me, scared me, and they still get me to this day. Some of these might be some more recent films, some of them might be older movies, things like that. So these are my personal choice for these 10 films that really got to me when I first saw them, and they still get me to this day. They just really creep me out. So if any of you, I would really like to see a response to this. So if anybody wants to do a response to this at all, that'd be really great, because I would love to hear your guys' 10 picks for the films that scared you. So I hope you guys enjoy my list, and let's get on to the top 10. So coming in at number 10 would have to be Stephen King's It. This is the one from the 90s, the TV miniseries with Tim Curry. I remember when I first saw this film, it was freaky. And still watching it today, it's really freaky. Tim Curry, I love the new It. Bill Skarsgård does a great job as Pennywise, but Tim Curry to me is always really haunting as Pennywise. A lot of creepy scenes, the whole tunnel lights, we all float down here when you see him with Georgie and he's in the sewer and he's like, "You want a balloon?" Like, the way that Tim Curry, delivers his lines is really just eerie. Tim Curry just pulls his role off so well. Stephen King's It, I love the film, and it's still to this day is really creepy. Love Stephen King's It. Coming in at number 9 would have to be Stir of Echoes. This is a film that I remember when I first saw this film, I was genuinely creeped out. It's kind of like it's almost kind of like a Sixth Sense kind of like movie, because Kevin Bacon's a guy who can see dead people, kind of like what Haley Joel Osment was in The Sixth Sense. The Stir of Echoes was just a creepy film. Kevin Bacon does a great job. A lot of really great haunting scenes in the film. I believe Stir of Echoes was R-rated. It's kind of like an R-rated version of The Sixth Sense. And I think, in my opinion, I think Stir of Echoes is really creepy, in my opinion. I really do love Stir of Echoes. It's kind of like an R-rated version of Sixth Sense. But I love Stir of Echoes. Coming in at number 8 would have to be the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original one from the 70s. I remember when I first saw this film. I'm going to say it was when I first bought the Ultimate Edition DVD, the 2-disc DVD that's signed by Gunnar Hansen. I remember I got that at Best Buy for $10, and it was about 8 years ago. I saw it for the first time. I was a freshman in high school, and I remember me and my buddy watched it that night, and I remember when the film ended, I kind of looked over at him what in the world was that? I was genuinely creeped out. The whole dinner table scene, it's really a great psychological horror film. It really has all those scenes that you remember, just really creepy film. I love the whole out in the middle of nowhere in Texas kind of setting. I love the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Coming in at number 7 would have to be a film that not many people would even put on this list or probably even heard of, but my number 7 is Satan's Playground. I've talked about this film, I think, before already. This is the film about the Jersey Devil. It has a really great ensemble cast of horror actors. Felissa Rose from Sleepaway Camp, Ellen Sandweiss from Evil Dead, Edwin Neal, the crazed hitchhiker in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Rob Milkey, who was in Friday the 13th. Has like a similar vibe to House of a Thousand Corpses, but a little more creepier than House of a Thousand Corpses, because I love the whole setting in the backwoods of New Jersey and the whole urban myth about the Jersey Devil, and just a really creepy setting. It's about a crazed family. It's kind of like a similar vibe to a House of a Thousand Corpses, but a little creepier. But I highly recommend Satan's Playground if you haven't seen it. But it really got to me. Now, coming in at number 6 is another film that I really do love, and it still gets me to this day, and that is The Shining by Stanley Kubrick. You know, just Jack Nicholson's portrayal of Jack Torrance is so well done, and there are some scenes in the film that still get me. Like the musical score just makes the hair up on the back of my neck stand up. You know, it's just the lady in the bathtub and the whole blood coming out of the elevator and all that stuff. Just the really creepy visuals in the film. You know, the whole with the twin girls in the hallway, and the little boy Danny sees them, and he kind of sees like a glimpse second of them in a different fashion. He gets scared, and the look on Danny's face just really gets me. I love The Shining. Now, coming in at number 5 would have to be Event Horizon with Lawrence Fishburne and Sam Neill, about these people that are going to go investigate this ship that they thought was lost many years earlier. When they get there, they're encountering their worst fears on the ship, and they're seeing these visuals. Just a really creepy atmosphere, a really good cast, and it was one of the films also that really got to me as well, and it still does. Coming in at number 4 is one of those films. I remember when I first saw this film, I remember it scared me so bad that I didn't watch the film again until like a few years later. It's one of those films I don't watch a whole lot because I get creeped out every single time. And some of the images from this film are still pictured in my mind. I mean, it scared me so bad. And that would be The Eye. This is not the remake with Jessica Alba. This is the original Japanese version. I believe this was a Japanese film from 2002. I mean, there are scenes in the film that are just so creepy. I couldn't even believe it. I mean, it's up there with one of the top scariest films I've ever seen. And that's why it's my number 4. It's just it scared me so bad. But it's such a well done horror film. I love the Japanese version of The Eye. Coming in at number 3 would have to be Candyman. The first one with Tony Todd and Virginia Madsen. The Candyman really scared me as a kid. I remember seeing images of him when I was a kid, and just really creeped me out. I remember seeing the whole bee scene and the public restroom scene. I mean, it was one of those films where it's like after you see the public restroom scene, it kind of makes you never want to go. It kind of makes you never want to go into a public restroom ever again. You know, it's just a lot of really creepy visuals in the film. And Tony Todd is just so good as the Candyman. He was perfect for the role. And Candyman is just a classic. Coming in at number 2 would have to be The Blair Witch Project. I know this is a film that not many people like nowadays, but I still do love this film. Because the whole idea of being out in the middle of the woods and you're running low on food and water, it's a really creepy situation. Like, you would, go crazy and argue with each other. Like, where are we at? Where are we at? How do we get out of here? I can relate. It's relatable. I mean, like, what if you were stuck out in the middle of the woods and you were running low on food and water and you had no idea where you were? I mean, it is a creepy situation. And the film still gets me to this day. Whenever I'm going by the woods during the night, whenever I see the woods at night, I always think of the Blair Witch Project, and that's how much of an effect it has on me still to this day. So that's why it's definitely my number 2. And without a doubt, the number 1 film that has always creeped me out, and it still does to this day, is The Exorcist. The Exorcist was one of those films I remember when I first saw it. It was really creepy. The whole musical score, Linda Blair as the demon when she's possessed, just really gets me, and all that stuff. The Exorcist, I don't think I need to say more about the original Exorcist. It's a classic. And also, one of the other scenes that really gets to me in this film is the scene where Linda Blair's laying down on the table and she's looking up at the ceiling, and you see the white pale face of Captain Howdy. It's like you see his teeth, and like kind of like glimpses, you see it for like a split second like that, and then it goes back to Linda Blair like kind of like staring into space. Like that Captain Howdy's face just gets me all the time. It's just a really creepy image. But so there you have it. Those are my personal choice for the top 10 films that personally scared me, and they still get me to this day. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Alright guys, take care.